All right, let's peel back the layers on one of the most common ingredients in the world, garlic. But this is more than just a kitchen staple, you know? It's a straight-up chemical powerhouse, a tiny little bulb that's hiding a secret arsenal of some seriously powerful compounds. So what is it? What makes this humble ingredient something that's been celebrated for its health benefits for literally centuries, across all kinds of cultures? Well, that's what we're going to dig into. We're about to uncover the hidden chemistry that you unlock every single time you pick up a knife.
I mean, think about it. From ancient Egyptian remedies all the way to modern science labs, garlic has always been way more than just a way to add flavor. It's a huge player in traditional medicine, and its real power, well, it lies in this complex family of organosulfur compounds that we're about to meet.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about that smell. You know the one. That pungent, powerful aroma is way more than just a warning to vampires. It's actually the first big clue to garlic's incredible biological activity.
And the history here is just fascinating. The ancient Egyptians were documenting its use for all sorts of problems. But it wasn't until 1858 that Louis Pasteur actually confirmed its antibacterial properties in a lab, basically proving what traditional medicine had known for ages. Pretty cool, right?
Now here's where it gets really interesting. A whole intact clove of garlic, it's kind of quiet, chemically speaking. The real magic, the chemical fireworks, that doesn't happen until you get involved. It all kicks off with just a little bit of damage.
I want you to think of a garlic clove like a tiny, perfectly organized chemical factory. So, in one room, you've got this compound called Allium. In a separate room, you've got an enzyme called alliinase. And as long as those walls are up, nothing happens. They just keep to themselves. But the second you chop or crush or even chew that clove, you're breaking down the walls. Alliinase and Allium suddenly mix, and bam, you get this explosive, almost instant reaction that creates our star molecule, Allicin.
So, Allicin, you've probably heard of it. Pretty much everything you hear about garlic's benefits seems to point to this one compound. It's the famous one, the source of that powerful smell. But there's a huge plot twist coming. And yeah, it is the compound that gives garlic its whole reputation. When you first crush garlic, allicin makes up like 70 to 80% of the new compounds that get created. It's basically the celebrity of the garlic world. And here's the twist. Allicin is wildly unstable. You could almost call it a chemical ghost. It has a half-life of less than a minute inside the body, which means it disappears almost as fast as it shows up. So that leads to a really big question. If it's gone that quickly, how could it possibly be responsible for all those health benefits?
Well, the answer is it's not the main actor. It's more like the catalyst. Allicin is this fleeting, temporary molecule that breaks down almost immediately into a whole new cast of much more stable, longer-lasting compounds. So you can think of it like this. Allicin kicks off the party, but it's the byproducts that actually stick around to do all the work.
And this just shows it perfectly. The real story of garlic's benefits depends entirely on how you prepare it. The compounds you're going to get in aged garlic are totally different from garlic oil, which are different from steamed garlic. Allicin's breakdown path completely changes based on things like heat, time, and what it's mixed with.
So, let's meet the real team, the true heroes. You've got compounds like diallyl sulfides, or DAS, which you find in garlic oil. There's aegene, which forms when garlic is sitting in oil. And then there's one of the most studied ones, S-allylcysteine, or SAC. That's the star player in aged garlic extract because it's super stable and really easy for our bodies to absorb. These are the molecules doing the heavy lifting.
Okay, so we've got this team of powerful compounds, but what do they actually do once they're on our system? Let's dive into their health arsenal.
The research here points to an absolutely incredible range of activities. I mean, we're talking about effects that are antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even potentially anti-cancer. This is a multi-talented superfood, right down to the cellular level.
First up, its power as a tiny antimicrobial warrior. Garlic's compounds have been shown to put the brakes on a really broad spectrum of bacteria. They can even mess with biofilms. You know, those slimy, protective shields that bacteria build to protect themselves, and some studies even point to effects against certain fungi and viruses.
And what about inflammation? Well, these organosulfur compounds can act like little regulators, helping to calm down the body's inflammatory signals. This might just be why some studies have found garlic supplements to be pretty helpful for people with conditions like osteoarthritis.
And then there's the really compelling research into its anti-cancer potential. It seems like garlic's components might fight back on a few different fronts.
They might stop carcinogens from being activated in the first place, slow down the out-of-control growth of cancer cells, and even encourage something called apoptosis, which is basically telling damaged cells it's time to self-destruct.
Okay, so this is all amazing science, but how do we actually use it in our own kitchens? This is where it gets super practical, because how you prepare your garlic directly changes its chemistry.
So check this out. This is the key trade-off. If you use raw, freshly chopped garlic, you're going to get a big burst of that unstable allicin. And here's a pro tip. Let it sit for a few minutes after you chop it before you cook it. That maximizes the allicin. But the moment you cook it or age it, you destroy the allicin and you convert it into those more stable compounds like SAC and ajuine. Neither way is bad, they just create totally different chemical profiles for your body to use.
And this brings us to a really crucial point: bioavailability. See, it's not just about what's in the garlic, it's about what your body can actually absorb and put to work. Those compounds in aged garlic, like SAC, are really bioavailable. But get this, if you eat raw garlic with a high-protein meal, it can actually reduce how much allicin your body absorbs. It's this whole complex dance between food and chemistry.
So all of this leaves us with one final thought. We're often looking for health solutions in really complex pills and supplements. But what this shows us is that there's some incredible, powerful chemistry happening right there on our cutting boards. Maybe, just maybe, some of the most potent tools for our health have been hiding in our pantries all along.